My Only Refuge, Episode 6. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sometimes we think God created the world and then left it to itself without intervening. At best, we say He has done this to test us. Or we think God's creation is like a painting completed by its creator. It can be framed and put on the wall, but cannot be touched or changed. This is how some Jews perceive creation and the Creator according to the Quran. Surah Al-Ma'idah, the 5th surah of the Holy Quran, verse 64, God says, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ يَدُ اللَّهِ مَغْلُولَةٌ غُلَّتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَلُعِنُوا بِمَا قَالُوا. The Jews said, Allah's hand is tied. May their own hands be fettered and restrained. And the Holy Quran curses those who hold such a belief. Why is this subject so important? The opposite of God's hands being tied is that we have a God who is able to create and does what He wills whenever He wants. In the same verse, God goes on to say, بَلْ يَدَاهُ مَبْسُوطَتَانِ. Rather, His hands are outstretched. And يُنْفِقُ كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ. He gives how He wills. This means God's kindness and attention gush and flow like a dynamic stream. They are not something set in stone, determined once and for all. Sometimes, with the intention of showing respect to God and exalting Him as the all-powerful and all-knowing, we think He who knows everything must have decided and decreed everything from the outset based on what He knew. This is not the case. What we learn from the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all, their interpretations of Quranic verses, and their personal relationship with God, is that we are to request from God as much as we can. What's more, the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all, have explicitly taught and encouraged us to do so. Now, if God's hands were tied, praying and asking for forgiveness would be meaningless. In the supplication, dua, we recite after visiting the holy shrine of Imam Riza, alayhi salam, we are instructed to invoke God as such. By your indisputable decree, which you change with the smallest of prayers. How kind He is! A simple supplication, one small dua, is enough to change His decree and our destiny. This is the God we ought to be worshipping, not an imaginary God whose hands are tied.